Hey, I'm Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in today's show, the big interview is with Narrative 4. First, though, the top stories in Limerick, and it's a massive congratulations to Corbally's Greg O'Shea, who has won Love Island. He managed to walk in just 12 days before the finale, teamed up with Amber McGill, and walked away with the 50k jackpot. During the week, his friends were on the 6 o'clock show on Virgin Media, chatting all about him entering the villa.
And when he had to go over to London, Shane, did you have to do something very special?
Yeah, he actually didn't have much clothes at the time, and I actually had to bring him to Dundrum Shopping Centre and dress him and everything. So
you were the stylist.
I'd take that.
You do realise you have to go back to training now that you're his stylist.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's wearing my white jeans every night. So.
You guys were all together though, watching him make his entrance.
Yeah, so we would watch a lot of Love Island together in the house, and as we said, because I was in contact with Greg on the Friday evening, and I hadn't heard from him in a while, so I gave him a call, and I was chatting to him. He's like, because I was based in Limerick at the time, and he was in Dublin, and he was just like, "Oh, Alex, I've loads of gossip for you. You must catch up soon." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was planning to come up to stay in his house and everything. He's like, "Oh, Shane's getting all the gossip off me." And then we're watching Love Island Sunday night, and he walks into the villa, and I'm watching the house below in Limerick with a load of my friends, and we're all like, "Oh my God, what is going on?"
I was meant to be kipping on your sofa.
I texted him, I was like, "Craig, if you walk into this villa now, I'm going to kill you, because there obviously is no phone or anything, so you can't see it."
Next up, more great news for Limerick. Troy Studios, which is based in Castle Troy, had a very successful run with Night Flyers, and now Apple Plus TV are shooting a series there, and local councillors are urging people to hire local people because Night Flyers hired over 300 people for a 9-month period, and it has the capacity to make 45 million for the local economy. And finally, local band Hermitage Green had 2 very successful nights playing in King John's Castle last weekend. I went along to check out the gig.
See, you're a tough guy, like a greedy rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just a wish for both guy. On the bad side, make your mama side time, make you go to my time, might seduce your dad time. I'm not bad girl, impossible to ignore. Impossible not to do. Impossible not to do. So I tell you openly, you have my heart, so don't hurt me. You're what I couldn't find. It's totally amazing. Are we ready? Are you ready? Will I please, I'm on my knees, the smell of your fresh cut grass. Blue sky grins for all its sins. Look another perfectly white ass. Will our people
Now I'm joined by Bernadine, and we're here in the absolutely amazing Narrative 4 on O'Connell Street. I have to say, my first time in here, and I just walked in, and honestly, I'm still looking around. It's incredible.
Yeah, we're very lucky. It's a beautiful building. It was renovated only a few years ago by Feeney McNamara Architects. So it was a lovely partnership to work with them. So it was James Lawler, our director, who really kind of oversaw the management of that. And the idea was to create a space that's both an office, but also a workshop space and a venue that has a kind of flexibility that allows us to run multiple things here, but also make it feel kind of comfortable and safe for people to come in here as well. So it doesn't feel like a classroom.
Yeah, no, it's fabulous. And I have to say, I think what kind of almost shocked me the most was it's such one of these big old Georgian buildings here on O'Connell Street, but you've managed to bring in so much light and air and space. But also I read that it used to be a library.
It was, and actually, we have many people who come in here who used to work here. So, and it's lovely to have that cultural memory of a place that we're able to carry on, especially with like a literary heritage. You know, books are so important, literature is so important to our city. To be able to kind of continue that story is really important. And so it's been really, really nice. Even some of the people that we've trained, like they're like, my mother used to sit over here, you know. So we've been able to give people some tours, you know, and they're able to point out where they worked, which is lovely. It's really nice to have that here.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. Now, you have been speaking about workspace and workshops. Can you tell me exactly what does the work at Narrative 4 do?
Sure. On a day-to-day basis, for the past year, we've been training facilitators to run our story exchange program in their school or in their communities. So what that is a program that allows us to step inside the shoes of someone different. So somebody who might not have the same experience of us, or maybe somebody who just sits next to us every day in school, but we're not quite sure what it's like for them at home or in their community. So it's called a story swap. So I tell you a story from my life, you tell me a story from yours, and I tell it back to a group as if it's my own. So imagine doing that with people who have known each other all their lives, but they've never really asked each other a personal question, or people who are from totally different communities in the city. So that's kind of the basis of what we do. The programme was set up by Irish author Colin Meghann in New York, and so it's now a global organisation. Wow. But actually, we're really lucky in Limerick because we are the only place of the whole global network that has a physical space. So we're like a laboratory to really explore what can happen when you have a safe space for people to come in and share their stories.
That's absolutely incredible, and I suppose as well it's kind of nice for people maybe if you're new to a city, or if you want to make some more friends, or as you said, meet new people or chat to people you already know. So when does this take place, or how often does it happen?
So the actual programme itself, now we've been supporting and enabling community leaders and teachers to run it in their own classrooms. So of course for the summer we have a bit of a dip, it's a bit quieter, come September it'll all kick off again. And so teachers who are running it can use our space so they can bring their students in here, or else they go to their school, and we sometimes send writers out to schools. So for example, author Helena Close is going to be partnered up at a school from September to run to support the teachers and run the programme in that school.
Super.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to get involved, how can they get involved? And like I said, I know you touched on schools, but like we'll say if someone living in Limerick City here thinks, I want to do this.
A good way of dipping their toe in the water is to come and try out one of our storytelling events. So that's it isn't necessarily the full programme where you swap a story with a partner, but it's actually about hearing people's stories that are true and are connected to the city. And they happen once a month, so they'll be starting back in September, and we have our special event. That is our Narrative for Limerick event that's going to happen on 14th of August.
That is absolutely wonderful. So I think if people come to the event on the 14th of August and 13-14, as you said, they'll get a taste for what it's involved, and then they can get involved themselves.
That's right. Yeah.
Bernadine, thank you so much for chatting to the Limerick Post and for showing us around this beautiful building and for telling us all about Narrative 4.
You're welcome. Come back anytime.
I'm now joined by Rachel, and we're going to chat all about a very special event that is taking place. Can you tell me all about it?
The event is called A Narrative for Limerick. It is, we've been holding series of them. So usually they happened here in our base in O'Connell Street, but this one is going to be happening in 13-14 on the 14th of August. So there's going to be people like Cindy Joyce, Dan Mooney, Helena Close and Blake are going to be there. And what they'll do is they'll tell stories kind of relating to Limerick or their time in Limerick or personal stories. So it seems to be a great event, so everyone's quite excited about it.
And this has been going on now for a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. So we've decided now to kind of move the event to change the dynamic of it. So that's where we're going to go to 13-14. So the ones that we've held here have been very popular. So it's nice to change it up.
It is. It's always nice, and I think to bring people maybe to other venues, because if you kind of get used to one place, it's nice to kind of almost take people out of their comfort zone, because I'm sure you have people that come here all the time that get really used to the place and feel really safe and confined, and it's nice then to kind of like push the boundaries a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. We have regulars who kind of will come to all the storytelling events. So it's nice to change it. It changes the dynamic of it, and I think holding it somewhere else kind of, you get different things from different people. So it'll be nice, especially for like the regular people to change it up and go somewhere else.
Now, will there be a theme on the night, or will each speaker kind of have their own kind of avenue that they'll take?
They'll all take their own avenue. Like the theme is A Narrative for Limerick. So it's stories based around that really, but like they're all personal stories. So they're not like mentored in what to say or anything. They come up with their own thing and tell that story.
I feel like there'll be some really cracking stories, because I think Limerick is just one of those places that even I find when people come to visit for a weekend, something's always going to happen there. There'll be a fun story, or there's a chicken hut, or there's always kind of something in there that it makes Limerick like what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all the people that are coming, they're quite different people. They all come from different backgrounds, different professions, different places. So it's interesting to see kind of what they'll come out with on the night.
So is this event open to everyone, and how can you get tickets?
Yeah, it's open to everyone. Tickets are available on the door at the night, or you can pop in here and we have tickets available. So you can get them here and 50 O'Connell Street.
Lovely stuff. And what time does it kick off in 1314?
It starts at 7:30, so from 7:30 on.
Super stuff. Rachel, thank you so much for chatting to Limerick Post.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's show. For these and so much more, check out limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.